Gonna lose the weight, gonna lose the weight, gonna lose the weight. Let's go for a walk, walk with me.
Hi everyone, it's episode 7 of Man vs Carb. Just on a wee walk because I did the measurement, the measuring on the scales this morning. There were decided to be several different levels of complaining. Some of them were accurate, some of them weren't. I think, realistically, the scales say that I'm 21 and 3, which is like the best result because at one point it said that it's like 21.7. I was like, that's not possible. I don't eat enough to do that. But slight confession, I did have some carbs for, I believe it's my partner's niece's daughter's birthday, or my partner's niece. Technically, she's a great niece now. So, anyway, this is just me out on my wander, and here is obviously Kirk. Near Craigie. And needless to say, it's near Gunnup Terrace. So yeah, it's over there. So yeah, well, obviously spent a little bit of time as a kid around here. Obviously it was BB and a few things. I didn't really go BB for very long, but you know, that's just because I found it pretty dull. I mean, the games were okay, but it's more that the religious element didn't really sit. That's interesting. It's like my gran was quite religious, mum's Catholic, dad's, I think, Protestant, I suppose. Or was my gran a Christian? I think she was a Christian. Either way, like I did go sometimes during the summer holidays. There was going to, well, not Sunday school, but like the equivalence of that. Like it was like a sort of a like a group of some sort. Obviously, at some points it was just to try and entertain myself, because a lot of points when you're a child, and particularly anyone who's born in the 80s and whatnot, there's not actually a lot going on. Video games weren't much a thing. Obviously there was, but like you only had so many in the 16-bit era. It's obviously why I grew up in the 16-bit era. So, you know, it's a bit beyond the original Mario and all that jazz, but nah. I play a lot of Sonic, so. Anyway, well, there's not a lot to do those summers. Did probably spend a little bit more time at Camper Down, back when it was actually quite good. Used to have like sort of token riding, sort of like zero bike things. Yeah, I know they look pretty bad, but like sort of close thing of early go-karts as there was. Here's the thing, don't think I've actually, no, I did one set of adult go-karting, but I must have been about, I was in my late teens, I think. I was maybe like 17, and that was up at Aviemore, which I think I've been like Aviemore twice. It's not like something I'd go back again. I mean, it is technically a Scottish city you could go to on holiday for, if you want to obviously go on holiday right now. And realistically, you should be more supporting localised businesses rather than flying abroad. Now, whether that's something you can have to do for work or otherwise, I wouldn't suggest it. It's definitely not right now. Yeah, also, we're going to go past the park. This is where some of my injuries began. It's where I tore my tendon. Now, doing that was very debilitating into my early 30s. It's obviously partially probably contributed why I've been overweight for quite some time. It's more than likely a major contributing factor of why I was overweight, because, well, I couldn't really move around. But you can't tell your tummy not to throw it in. Obviously at the time as well, did some really silly things where you would take painkillers and alcohol, very silly. But never obviously ridiculous, and I just took the painkillers, which to be honest didn't even really take the edge off the pain, because I had to regrow a tendon. That's not pleasant. So what's left is obviously a bit shorter, but realistically I'm a lot healthier recently. Now, they updated it since the last time I was here, but let's just give you a wee pan around. Alright, one sec. So they've still got the goalposts. They're like one of the only things. And then they used to have like a sand pit there. But that's obviously been removed quite some time ago. They've kept one of the benches, which is strange. They've got like someone's clothes on it. Some random board. Yeah, someone's jumpers there. So yeah, they've got that. Obviously, even updated it since when I was taking my son there, which is quite some time ago. Yeah, obviously there's Kanakayo rust. Interesting that they put some swings in. So at least that's something else. It's a little bit more modernised, one would say. Anyway, I just went down the hill of Loudon Terrace. Used to have a friend in primary school. He used to live here with his gran, I think. Well, his gran was here and his mum come pick him up. His name is Grant. I've known a few Grants. Though I recently ran into the other one. Not recently. Realized. Anyway. Yeah. So that's got a tree line. I'd probably complain that I had to walk up here when I was a kid. Very lazy. Very lazy. So, you know, there's a whole point where you shouldn't really be lazy. Obviously, what's happened with the scales this morning, I've been pushed into movement again. As you can see, didn't point out, nice haircut. Wasn't going to be this short, but ended up that way. So yeah, bit of a short haircut. Yeah, I mean, we could go past my parents' old house, but I've been going around there a wee bit the last couple of walks. I've walked past here a few times, so it's a little bit weird. So, yeah, so let's not do that. We'll walk along the Riverside Park and then up the hill. Might not take you all the way up with the hill with me because it's a bit awkward, but yeah. So, yeah, I'm still liking the diet, but I think I might have reached this point where either I'm losing tiny amounts of weight or I'm in keto stall, so I need to change up my diet again, move it around. Well, not change it up, but change when I'm eating to like re-get that metabolism back into not storing fat, which makes it difficult. But you know, it's one of the joys. I did eat a couple of carbs, like I said, for a partner's family event. Not much, but I had a cake. And I don't really miss it. I wasn't like really blown away by it. I think if you're really thinking about what I would really be missing, are things like crisps, things like gummies and stuff, alcohol a bit. Like I said, I didn't think I'd miss it as much, but I don't know. Something slightly more exciting than water or tea, and the occasional tin of juice, which you know, so get down to like 1 tin a day. It's a lot better than my old juice habit, which was like 2 or 3 litres of this stuff, which, yeah, as everyone kind of knows, aspartame's pretty bad for you. I mean, it's on a par. I'm not sure whether it's better or worse for your body than smoking. Though, weird enough, there was something that was shown to me recently that said if you ate processed meat, you've got a good chance that if you eat a lot of processed meat, you're consuming the similar amount of carcinogens as smoking 20 fags a day, which is mental. But I don't know. I think you'd have to just be, the only thing you eat was processed meat. That would be the case, but I don't know. It's pretty difficult to try and eat that much ham. I'm not really aiming to. I mean, you might end up with some of the problems that pop off, like Quite bloated and obviously gout. I've had that. I mean, that's sugar related, but too much protein's no good either. Especially because it like messes with your hormones and everything. So you gotta be aware. Anyway, it's a bit of a grey day. That, and interesting enough, all the kids are back at school, so it's a grey day, which means there's less people kicking about, so you actually get a walk. But the problem is, it's all these cars. It's like loads of cars. All cars all the time. Oh, that's a garage that shut down a while ago. Port access. You're gonna go to the port. Le port. Well then, the crappiest summer ever known to all kids has ended in the back at school, sort of. Not exactly a pleasant foray into current affairs, is it? I personally think that it's a bit early. I don't think they should. But part of the problem with everything right now is everyone's desperate to run into things. And they'd be like, well, this is the new thing, rather than waste all the fucking time and money of trying to keep it open, we'll just keep it shut for longer. That's a default. You really should have just kept it shut for longer, but fucking whatever. Not like the lesson. Anyway, it's quite a lot of swearing. I was pointing out by my partner, I swear a lot in these videos. Obviously, it just depends. Depends how I feel that day, to be honest. I mean, there's no crossing point other than just praying that you get past. Which, being honest, nah. My cut or short. I'll probably go in the bright Ferry road. So I'm a bit like, well, I could go down there, but the further I get away from the house, the further I have to charge home. Maybe we'll cross the bridge a little bit. Tried. Avoid being hit by a car though. Quite handy. Okay. Over slightly. Will we over the second bit? Probably not. Okay. It's indicated. A bit late, like, but indicated. So, Rocky Ferry Road. I've always liked the front of this building. I'm not sure why. Cool door. Probably an office of some sort. Generally the case. Right, so near enough on the bridge. Okay, bridge. Bridge. And here's the rigs. Oh, yeah, rig. So it's the top and the railway. There's a few rigs and stuff. So it's the waterfront. It's always interesting. Go a bit further in and then I'll go back. I remember at one point I was doing a family cycle ride, I believe it was. It's many years ago. That there was a paint factory over here that went on fire. Like exploding tins and everything else. Big ass fire. I do think I remembered that I put quite a bit of my teenage years, well, my delinquent years, in the ferry. And I tended to do something that boys and girls shouldn't do in public, drink the alcohol. Especially because I was underage. It's a bad move. Shouldn't do that. But everyone does. So, not encouraging that. It's a very bad move. But, used to do that at the rock gardens and stuff. I'm obviously not going to go that far. We're only really going down to show you a little bit of the fourth ports of Dundee. And then we'll do a U-E and go up the hill. And then obviously my game plan, which I'm not going to take you all along with, I'm going to get through some weights and do the physio and then have breakfast. Of all things, of lunch or whatever you want to call it, but realistically it's just obviously breaking the fast. It's have to be a little bit later. It gets lot more done with keto. Otherwise I'll still be stalling in weight loss. Is that what I want? Don't want that at all. It's a pain in the arse. Anyway. Obviously I've tried to avoid people as well. It's a lot quieter, at least. That's because I was back at work. Which is cool. That's what you want, really. Go for what you want, see how it pans out. So that's the cranny bit. It's like obviously seagulls and crows and stuff are all about like really enjoying themselves, which you would expect, and they've not been fed as much because there's not actually enough people kicking about, and then there have been and there haven't been. So, well, I'll go back up the hill. Yeah. Well, I noticed the last couple of vids there's been a trailing off in views, which is a bit disappointing. But obviously I'm still going to produce the videos. You know, it's a way to canonically monitor weight loss. Measurements are interesting. I mean, I think I was last measured, it was 47 inches, which might have dropped a bit. Not sure, but the annoying thing is about the weight. If that's only dropped a couple of pounds or whatnot, then I'm doing it healthily, which is fine. But if it fluctuates and it goes up really high, I have no clue. It can't be water, because there's some degree of water weight when you have carbs at any given point, so might be about gaining back there. But yeah, I didn't really miss them so much. I miss the normality of stuff, which is about it really. I mean, with everything sort of calming down and getting semi-normal, yeah, you're still a bit like, not really pushed to go crowded places. It's not that it's really up for crowded places anyway, if we're really one for that. But yeah, like the bonus of having enough money to go on holiday. It's a wee while since I've owned a passport though. Why would I go? Not that I'm going on holiday anytime soon. And I can see why. If you like different weather, different pace of life, then yeah. See, that's why quite a lot of people pensioners sort of fly abroad, but I'm not sure it was the best for certain economies. I mean, I do remember the Germans sort of went, nah, if you're not actually in Germany, you don't get a pension, so they all came back. Probably not great for Spain at that point, and other places. But you know, you can't entirely put your entire ethos on tourism, because as soon as tourism's damaged, even slightly, kind of fucked. You have some money come in, and then since we're working on a feasibility, then not everyone's free, so you gotta have some money, and it's a kick in the teeth, really. Well, I'm going to be very much of a sweaty boy at the end of this one. Well, it's definitely worthwhile bringing a hoodie. It's been cooler than it's been in a while, which is good and bad, shall we say? Yeah. Well, kids need some degree of normalcy. Don't blame them, really. It's a bit like, yeah, got to learn stuff at school. however they're teaching you. Across the road. Okay. It's a bit of a walk till I get up the hill. Trying to avoid the kids at primary school. Well, road crossing, such boring stuff. But you know, a bit more of normality if there's lots of cars kicking about, which is good and bad. So, yeah. Interesting smells kicking about though. Though you do sort of miss that someone's obviously not putting a barbecue up, because they always love the smells. Love me some barbecue. Which, to be honest, like, it's not actually that bad for you if you don't overcook it. Which, I don't know. There's a whole Strat Rush when I reached about, I think it was like 18 or something like that. That apparently eating loads of meat was bad for you, carbs it up. You know, which there's kind of some truth and some untruth in that. That a more healthy diet would be vegetables, a bit of fruits, some meat, that's it. But like, there's always the breads and everything else. And I think it's probably the worst parts about barbecues: alcohol and bread to go with your meals. It's never one for much of the salad as a kid. Love me eating meats, probably too much, generally. Well. Needless to say. How's it around here? Quiet. So that one's. Is that all right? Generally speaking, it's like as much exercise as you can. Probably not weightlift tomorrow or not. Did you do physio once? And I got walk-ins and relatively early for me. It's up too late last night. After 3, I'm mad. So it knocks onto my neck the rest of my day of staying in bed too long and don't push myself, then it doesn't even matter what you're dying. You gotta push yourself. Still no job front really. Potentially I might have some work and some voiceover stuff, but that'd be quite a nice career if you get into it. I need some actual gigs first though. Then I could justify buying a setup for like microphones and stuff. Yeah, or just get any old job. Which is ideally if it was work from home. Kids tend to die. I think we'll cross it for a high school sort of finish. Sit in the car. It's hard to smell moss. Well, I've been droning on for a while, so I think I'll call it there. Yeah, I'll aim to throw up another video this week, see how it pans out. With measurements and stuff, if it's changed. I'm not sure they have. They might have done. The body fat percentage in the actual scales was interesting, so it's less, which is what I want. Yeah, so if you like what you see, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, share. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. That's where tends to be most of my engagement is. So if you feel like following me on Twitter, I'll obviously post this on Facebook in my normal profile, as I've been doing. But yeah, nothing really bad to report. Still been enjoying the meals. The exercise isn't that bad. Only problem is the road. It's very busy. It's like very busy. Maybe you didn't see that, but anyway. Okay, finally, it has to be away. Feel free to like, follow, subscribe, and share. If not, why not?
Thanks for watching, see you again. Thanks for watching, see you again.